The new compensation scheme for survivors of child sexual abuse in England is a landmark commitment by the government to acknowledge their suffering and deliver justice. It was launched in response to the recommendations of the Independent Inquiry into Child Sexual Abuse, IICSA, which exposed the scale and nature of the abuse and the institutional failings to prevent it. The IICSA was set up in 2015 and looked at 15 areas of institutional responses to child sexual abuse, such as schools, local authorities, churches, Westminster, and the police. It drew on evidence from over 7,000 survivors who shared their harrowing experiences of being ignored or silenced by those who should have protected them. The inquiry described the abuse as an epidemic that has left thousands of victims in its wake. The final report of the IICSA, published in October 2023, called for a fixed-term compensation scheme for victims who were let down by institutions in the past. It said that current civil justice and criminal compensation schemes often do not provide the accountability and reparation sought by victims and survivors. It also suggested that applicants to the scheme should have experienced abuse where there is a clear connection to state or non-state institutions. The government announced the launch of the scheme in May 2023, saying that it will consult with victims, survivors, and charities to develop it and understand who it should support and how it should be funded. The Home Secretary said that the scheme will be complex and challenging, but it really matters. She also said that the scheme will help victims and survivors secure some finality, some acknowledgement, and some closure. The compensation scheme is part of a wider package of measures that the government is taking to address the findings of the IICSA. These include better access to therapeutic support for victims and survivors, improved data collection on child sexual abuse by the police, and a mandatory duty on professionals working with children to report concerns about sexual abuse.